How's it going, everyone? My name is Iron Stark, and today I'll be showcasing one of the most hype weapons introduced in Lies of P Overture, the Pale Knight. To begin, the Pale Knight moveset is among the most versatile in Lies of P. The light attack chain is your standard diagonal slashes that should feel familiar to anyone who uses greatswords in the Souls games. But the real selling point of the Pale Knight is its heavy attacks. The Pale Knight's heavy attacks utilize powerful Ergo bullets that extend their range drastically. The first heavy attack from the Pale Knight is a lunge forward that also launches the player backward from the recoil. A follow-up heavy attack will have the player blast forward with a sweeping slash. Additionally, the running heavy attacks also fire an Ergo shot, giving impressive range. Incorporating the heavy attacks into sword slashes can lead to some really satisfying combos and provides incredible mobility with style. The Fable Arts on the Pale Knight are also extremely useful. The Handle Fable Art, Strengthened Bullet, is essentially a buff to every attack where the Pale Knight fires an Ergo shot. Considering that the Pale Knight's strongest attacks involve firing it, such as its heavy attacks, Blade Fable Art, and landing fatal attacks, it really takes the Pale Knight's power to the next level. The Blade Fable Art is full Salvo, a massive shotgun-like AoE that does so much damage, especially if Strengthened Bullet is active. Moveset and Fable Arts considered, the tactics you should employ is leaning heavily into the Pale Knight's heavy attacks when buffed with Strengthened Bullet, because those heavy attacks have so much effective range, while also dealing monstrous amounts of damage, and using full salvo for devastatingly powerful raw damage and stagger damage, and utilizing the Pale Knight's light attacks and light attack into heavy attack combos when you don't have enough time for a fully charged heavy attack, as those combos have fantastic DPS. As for the Pale Knight's scaling, it gets a B in Motivity and a C in Technique, so as long as you have 40 to 50 Motivity and 26 Technique, you should get pretty good damage. This is my main Lies of P data, so the boss fights you're seeing are from a character with 50 Motivity and 50 Technique, and is intended for someone in deep NG plus cycles or higher boss rematch levels. As for Amulets, I was mainly aiming for maximizing damage. I'm running the Extreme Modification Amulet, which buffs your damage by 4% per Fable slot active, with a maximum of a 20% damage buff when all 5 Fable slots are full. The Conquering Amulet, which buffs the damage of your next attack by roughly 20% after landing a perfect guard. It's worth mentioning that the buff for the Conquering Amulet is only active 5 seconds after a perfect guard. The Morbid Ambitions Amulet increases stamina consumption on light attacks, but makes them stronger, which is useful for maximizing the strength of the Pale Knight's light into heavy attack combos. The Puppet Destroyer, Carcass Butcher, and Murderer Puppet amulets got rotated in depending on the boss I was facing for a 10% increase to damage against puppets, carcasses, or humans respectively. As for P-Organ upgrades, I'm not going to go into every single one I'm running, since I have all 7 phases unlocked and that would make this intro way too long. I will go over the ones I think are most essential for synergizing with the Pale Knight. You will want Enhanced Charge Attack, Enhanced Attack Stagger, and Lower Charge Attack Stamina Consumption to play into the power of the Pale Knight's explosive heavy attacks. Enhanced Fable Arts Attack and Enhanced Fable Arts Effect Duration are both useful for getting the most out of full salvo and Strengthened Bullet. Perfect Guard Fable Charge Enhance is a natural choice, so you can buff with Strengthened Bullet or use full salvo often. Lower guard regain reduction is recommended since you're going to be trying to use perfect guards to regen your Fable, and unless your perfect guards are on point, you're going to miss one every now and then. So it's a nice kind of safe way to go about guarding and perfect guarding. The next few P-Organ upgrades are more of nice to haves and not necessarily mandatory for running the Pale Knight, but it's all about that quality of life. All footage in this weapon showcase was captured at Boss Rematch Level 4 for bosses that are available in it. For bosses like Tyrannical Predator, Veronique, and Laxasia, they were fought in NG+3 since that's a similar difficulty to Level 4. As always, enjoy the showcase.
bring it on. You ain't seen nothing like my brother.
Mind if I mess that kid up good? This is gonna be so much fun! Oh no! Knock him out, bro!
It's my turn! So this is Geppetto's puppet, huh? Gotta admit, knows what he's doing. Right there, survivor. That's it.
followers of the truth! This is the power of the reborn!
size of that thing!
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you? That you should see the power I was saving for Leia. You dare destroy my sublime creation. It can't be. I can't die here.
This is where we die! Alchemist bastards! What did your drugs do to me? Veronique! Don't give up! Don't give in!
them wrong. But the games end here. An elixir of great power, crafted by the most brilliant alchemists as reward for my contribution. You know far too much. It's time to die. Wait. What is happening? No. Please! No.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. Romeo's on the clock, and you appear to be nothing but talk. Is only truly honest when their life is on the line.